Hey everyone, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Keisha and today I'm going to be giving you 8 Christmas book recommendations. Read a handful of Christmas books the past couple of years, but I thought that I would put together a little video for those of you who might be interested in some Christmas books. If you have similar reading taste to me, then you might enjoy some of these. I do have 3 middle grade, 3 young adult, and 2 adult books on this list, so let's just go ahead and jump into it. The first book that I have is Nutcracked by Susan Adrian, and I actually just finished this book, and I thought it was the sweetest, coziest book. It is a middle grade, and it is just the sweetest. That's all I know to say is it's so sweet. It is a Nutcracker kind of like retelling or reimagining, and it's more on the lines of like magical realism. The Nutcracker, I feel like, well, I guess it is a magical realism story, but I oftentimes associate it with more fantasy. So this story follows our main character, Georgie, and Georgie has always wanted to play Clara in the Nutcracker. She's been doing ballet her whole life. It is a passion of hers and it's a dream of hers to become Clara. And this year she actually gets to be her. The strange thing is, whenever Clara dances with this 200-year-old Nutcracker, she goes off into another world where she sees presents that are bigger than her and a tree that's bigger than her and everything's bigger than her, and she seems to be in Clara's clothes playing Clara, but she is not on stage anymore. She ends up finding out that she has to not only tackle some struggles in her real life, but also in this magical world as well. So there's a little bit of magical realism in this book. It's a super sweet story. There's some really sweet friendships that are formed in this story. There is some friendships that need some work. There are lots of little details in this book. I could go on and on, but I don't want to spoil it because it is a short book, but it is so sweet and I highly recommend reading it if you haven't already. If you like the Nutcracker or anything of that sort, or if you just like middle grades and magical books and you want a quick read this Christmas season, I think this would be the perfect one for you. I actually am not super familiar with the Nutcracker. I grew up watching Barbie and the Nutcracker, but that's about as far as my Nutcracker knowledge goes. I learned a little bit more from this book, which I really enjoyed, and I actually think I want to pick up E.T.A. Hoffman's The Nutcracker and the Mouse King and see how I like that. But yes, I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. It did make me tear up a couple of times, only because a couple of things were really relatable, but I thought it was super cute, and I highly recommend this if you're looking for a cute, cozy, middle grade Christmas read. The next book I have is another middle grade, and it is called A Boy Called Christmas by Matt Haig. I read this book last year, and I'm rereading it this year for my middle grade book club. And this is just a cute, witty story about a little boy named Nicholas. He's 11 years old, and his nickname is Christmas. He's grown up in poverty. He lives out in a cabin in the woods with his father. They've kind of had a hard life, but Nicholas is happy just to be with his dad. He has a doll carved out of a turnip that has been his only toy that he's had with him his whole life. It's very special to him. And then one day his father has to go out on a mission, and I don't know that he knows that at the beginning, but he has to go out on a mission. He doesn't come back when he's expected to, and so Nicholas is stuck with his aunt, who reminds me a lot of Professor Umbridge from Harry Potter, just in the unlikability aspects of it. So Nicholas ends up going to find his father and finding out about this magical kingdom of Elfhelm and how he needs to help save it. This is a very Christmassy story. It's very cute and whimsical. There are illustrations throughout as well. Clearly there's trolls in this story. There are all kinds of magical creatures and reindeer and all kind of Christmassy things. There's even an instance in the story, if you have younger children who might think this is funny, where a reindeer is like flying over and poops on somebody's head, which I know the kids these days think that's hilarious. So I think this would be a great book for you and maybe for your kiddos as well if you're looking for something. This is the first book in a series, and so there are 3 books, and I'm hopefully going to read the second book this year as well, but it's very cute. I gave it about 3 stars, so it's not my favorite Christmas book, but I can definitely see why so many people love it, and I'm really excited to check out the Netflix adaptation of it this year as well. I have a feeling I'm probably really going to like it. The last middle grade book that I have on my list is The Christmas Soros by Tom Fletcher. I read this book last year as well, and oh my goodness, is this the cutest story. I think I fell in love with it even more after reading it, and I wish I would have paid more attention and took more time with it while I was reading it the first time. But this is a super cute story. It's about this boy named William Trundle, and there's only one thing on his Christmas wish list. Never in William's wildest dreams did he think that Santa would actually bring him a dinosaur. And honestly, neither did Santa. But William is a boy who believes in the magic of the season, even if it includes a strange cast of characters. The meanest girl in school, possibly the world. Santa Claus, yes, the real Santa. A horrible villain called the Hunter, yikes, and a most unusual dinosaur. So this is the Christmas Soros. This is such a cute book. It's illustrated by Shane DeVries, and I love the illustrations throughout this book. Also, our main character is in a wheelchair, so there's representation for that as well, which I absolutely love. There's the Hunter. So this is a super cute story. Tom Fletcher has a way of telling a whimsical story, like just the way, here, let me read a little clip of this for you to see if this might intrigue you. All right, I'm gonna try to put on my reading to the kids hat. We'll see how it goes. So this is the prologue. See if this intrigues you. The end of dinosaurs. This story starts like all good stories do, a long time ago. Not just a long time ago, but a very, very, very long time ago. Squillions of years ago, in fact. Long before your granny and your granddad were born, before there were any human beings at all. Before cars and airplanes, and even before there was internet, there was something even better. Dinosaurs. Dinosaurs were the most awesome creatures ever to walk the planet. There were lots of them, and they came in all shapes and sizes. There were small ones that were not much bigger than dogs or cats. Some with spiked prickle horns on their backs. There were stupendously ginormous ones called Seismosaurus that were longer than 5 double-decker buses, with necks thicker than tree trunks and skin like the hard rubber tires of a tractor. I know that sounds hard to believe, but it's definitely true, because this is a book, and books don't lie. So then he goes on to tell a story about Mamasaurus and Diplodocus and this egg, and I love this part where it says something bad was about to happen, something that would change the world forever. And the way it's written right here is like something big, something astronomically, intergalactically, outer spacey wacy big. Like the way that he writes this story is fantastic. And I know that's just talking about dinosaurs. It's not even talking about Christmas yet. That's the prologue. But like, then you get William Trundle and you go into this. Please, please pick this up. If you love whimsy, you will love this book. There are actually, I think, 3 books now in the series, and I need to reread this one and then read the second and the third, because this is just such a heartwarming book. It's so sweet. It's so wholesome. It's a great family book. So check this one out if you haven't already. I rated this one 4 out of 5 stars. It's so cute and cozy and perfect for the holiday season. Next, I have a couple of young adults, and the first one that I'm going to talk about is My True Love Gave to Me, and this is an anthology, which are kind of hit or miss for me, and I think for most people, because when you have different authors writing all in one book, sometimes you like some of them and you don't like others, but I have to say that I did love the majority of these stories. It's really cool because you get different days of Christmas thrown in throughout this, and some of them are celebrating things like Hanukkah, some of them are celebrating Christmas, some of them are about Krampus. So you get a little bit of a mixture of everything, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the majority of the stories in this book. I definitely want to reread it. I think it's one that you could own and reread every year. Unfortunately, I don't own this one, but I would highly recommend it if you were looking for a good Christmas anthology. This one is so sweet. Like I said, I did enjoy most of it. I've said it like 5 times, and I think that's very notable in an anthology because sometimes they're just hit or miss. This one was so awesome. I can't really say a lot about it. I remember there was like a Christmas, like a baby Jesus Christmas nativity story in there that I thought was really cute. The Krampus loaf story was really cute, or Krampus loaf. I'm not quite sure how to say that. There was another story, and I can't remember what it was called, but there was a girl and a guy in this apartment. She came to like see him because they were like alone on Christmas or something. I don't even remember, but it was super cute, and I highly recommend if you're looking for a cute Christmas anthology, and check this one out. The next young adult book that I have is Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Cohn and David Levithan. So I don't like the second and third books in this series. Well, actually, I haven't given the third book a chance. I didn't like the second one. So we're just going to pretend like this is a standalone. If you want to continue and you don't mind miscommunication tropes, by all means, read the rest of them. I cannot do miscommunication, and Dash and Lily don't communicate well all the time. I can handle it in this book. There are times where I get frustrated with them, but I can handle it. The rest of them, maybe not. But this is the cutest, here we go again with cute, and coziest book. Cute and cozy. This is cute and cozy, all of these. Okay, that's what we're going for here. So Lily has this little red notebook that she fills with dares, puts it in this bookstore in the Strand, I believe. And because they're in New York, and she is waiting and hoping, but not really anticipating somebody actually doing this, but for somebody to do these dares with her. And what's funny about this is that Lily loves Christmas, and Dash, who ends up doing the dares, despises Christmas. But here we are with Dash and Lily, and they are about to get to know each other through this notebook, which is the cutest thing. Like, they're kind of like pen pals, and then they get to meet in person eventually, and it's just, I love this. Like, I want this written 10 different ways. I just love this trope, this story. I don't like the miscommunication parts, but overall, it's a short story. It's really sweet. There is a Netflix adaptation of it as well. It's like a mini series, which I thought was great. So I would recommend reading this and then watching that as well. If you want to check out the second and third book, there are a second and third. It's the 12 Days of Dash and Lily and Mind the Gap Dash and Lily, but I just could not make it through the second one because of the miscommunication, and it was just kind of a like damper of a story, which I'm sure it was going to get better, but I just wasn't in it. But Dash and Lily's Book of Dares is great. This will be one that I recommend every year. It was one of my favorites. It's a Christmas classic in my opinion. I love it so much, so I'd highly recommend it. Gave it 4 out of 5 stars, so definitely pick this one up as well. Do any of you other YouTubers out there just feel like you repeat yourself, like cozy, cute, recommend, this? Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes there are no other words, and this whole video is Christmassy, like recommendations, and they're all cute and cozy. So what else am I supposed to say? I mean, let's just move on. So the next book that I have is also a young adult, and it is All I Want for Christmas by Wendy, and I was told how to pronounce her last name. I think it's Loja, something like that. I'm trying. So this I read this year as well. This is a really cute, short, cozy story about Bailey Briggs, and she is counting down the days until Christmas. Her one Christmas wish this year is to be kissed under the mistletoe, but who will that be with? She doesn't think it's going to be with Jacob Marley, which I think is funny that his name is Jacob Marley, but you see why in the story. She doesn't think it's going to be with him. He is an athlete, player, and of questionable taste in girlfriends, but she does think it might be with Charlie, the mysterious stranger with a British accent. So, who is she going to kiss under the mistletoe? You could probably predict just from the synopsis, but this is a very predictable story. It is very cute and cozy. It's an easy read. It's fast-paced. It made me feel good, and isn't that what we all need this time of year anyways? Don't we just want the feel-good, hokey stories? Because that's what this is. Bailey also works in a bookstore, which I love that aspect of it as well. There are aspects of A Christmas Carol thrown in here. There are also aspects of a Christmas movie I have in mind, but if I tell you that, then that's going to give you a spoiler for something in this book, so I can't tell you. But you'll know if you read it. But yeah, I think this is a really cute story. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Definitely a cozy, cute Christmas book that you should totally pick up. Okay, next up I have a couple of adult books, and the first one is In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. I've always really enjoyed Christina Lauren's writing. I will say that it is cozy and cute, but it's also a little smutty at times. It's not overly smutty. You guys know I don't like a lot of smut in my romance books, but Christina Lauren likes to throw it in there, but I cannot pass up their writing. This story in particular I read last year, and it follows May, or Maylin Jones. She goes by May, and she is kind of in a rough spot in her life. She's not really enjoying her job. She's going to this cabin that her family spends Christmas with, like their family friends with every year, but she comes to find out that the cabin is going to be up for sale, and this is going to be their last Christmas there. There's also a little bit possibly of a love triangle with 2 brothers that are there at the cabin with her as well. And so she is just kind of in a little bit of a rut. She ends the trip. She's really disappointed by how things went. And she kind of just puts out this plea to the universe to show her what will make her happy. So then you get a Groundhog Day effect where May ends up waking back up, like there's a car crash. She wakes back up on the on the airplane. They're going back to Utah to the cabin, and she's like, what, we were just there, we just left. But she's reliving this weekend or week, whatever it is, over and over again until she can figure out what truly makes her happy. This is a really sweet story. I like the moral of the story aspect of it. I do get annoyed because right smack dab in the middle of this book, there is some unnecessary smut. The whole book could have been 5 stars for me if there was like It just felt forced, you guys. It just felt forced. But if you can last through those few pages of forced smut, this is a 4 out of 5 star read for me. I do think it was really cute. It is a Hallmarky vibe movie, which most Christmas books are. Definitely could see this being made into a Hallmark movie, minus the smut. But it's a great book. So I love Christina Lauren. I will always recommend them. This is a good one, so definitely check this one out if you haven't already as well. And the last book I have is another adult book, and it's probably one of my favorites. I feel like I recommend this all the time, but it's One Day in December by Josie Silver, and I love this book. I think I only gave it 4 out of 5 stars, but I feel like it takes a lot for a romance to get 5 stars for me, just because I don't read a lot of them and I'm a little bit picky. But this one was so cute. Like, I definitely love this one better than like probably the rest of these in the stack, so this is like my #1 pick for you. But it's so cute. It's so cute. It's kind of like the love at first sight trope, but then kind of gone awry. So it follows Lori and Jack, and Lori is at this bus stop. She sees this guy. She knows he's the one. The bus drives away. And she spends the next year trying to find this mystery guy that she just knows is the one. Well, it comes to find out, Christmas party comes around. Her best friend Sarah comes up to her and she's like, hey, let me introduce you to my new boyfriend Jack. And guess what? Jack's the guy from the bus. I mean, you just set up for like a mess, but also a really heartwarming and cute story. It's very moving. I loved it. They spend like the next 10 years where you have like her and Sarah, and you also have like her interactions with Jack. And it's like, do they pretend like they don't know each other? Do they know each other? Does she tell Sarah if this, like, that this is the guy she's been looking for? Because now it's Sarah's boyfriend. Like, what do you do in this situation? And it's just, it's a wild ride. It's so good. It's so moving. I listened to the audiobook through half of this, like, while also reading along with it, because I just can't pass up like the British accent narration. I just love it so much. This is British. And so it's just so cute. And I don't know that everybody will like the way that it goes, but I really liked it, and I thought it was really cute. And please somebody make this a movie. I don't think that it'll do it justice, but it's so good. This is like my favorite. And honestly, you know what? Let's just say it's Christmas time. It's December. You've already got your December TBR planned out, right? Guess what? This whole book does not take place during Christmas. It's just the Christmas party that one time. So you could totally read this in January or other winter seasons or any time of the year, because it's not just a Christmas book. I associate it with Christmas. I read it around Christmas. If I read it again, it'll probably be around Christmas, but you can read this any time of the year. So if you have to read any of these, and it can't be in December, read One Day in December, just not in December. But I highly recommend it. 4 out of 5 stars. Such a sweet, cozy, moving love story, and it's just, it has such a special place in my heart. Okie dokie, artichokey, that is all of the books. I don't know why I said that. I never say that. We're just switching it up today. That's all the books that I have to recommend to you for this Christmas season. So we've got some middle grade, some young adult, some adult. Take your pick. They're all really good and sweet and cozy and cute and Christmassy. Today is just one of those days, can you tell? But I am so excited to share these with you. Let me know if you've read any of these. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about them, and if you picked them up after like you got them recommended for me. I would love to know what you think as well. Even if you don't like them, it might break my heart a little, but it'll be okay. Also, if you have any cute and cozy, I'm gonna say cute and cozy. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. If you have, yeah, sure, why not? If you have any cute and cozy Christmas recs, drop them down in the comments, because I'm always up for them. Thank you guys for sticking with me through this crazy video where I keep repeating the same things over and over again, but I'm really trying to recommend you these books. You guys are awesome. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, friends.